Slothy Pig, Z Yawn Togekiss, Z Sand Attack Ninjask. What is he going to do with Volbeat is my question. I've been really waiting to watch these battle replays, but since it's been a couple weeks since we had the Z Sand Attack feature on Fan Fridays, I think it's been enough time where we can go and show off the rest of the craziness. I mean, we have Prankster. If this is like Z Flash and the Tail Glow setup, Baton Pass, that could be really cool. Also, against a Pokemon like Ferrothorn, this is a setup player's dream right here. You know Ferrothorn is going to go for the Stealth Rock, and it's not going to be able to put down much pressure. Also, we have a substitute, so now Leech Seed doesn't get to do anything, and we have several turns of free setup right now. This is going to go pretty bad for the opponent. Ferrothorn has a Quick Claw. That's pretty fancy, and that's going to be a Z move, but that's going to be Prankster, so it's our Z move instead. Quick Claw means nothing. Gotta give some props for the Quick Claw on the Ferrothorn, but it's not really going to work out, and it is the Z Flash. Since this was submitted in the same post as the Z Sand Attack, yeah, Z moves that lower accuracy and then boost your evasion, those could get pretty crazy. So we already have a missed attack right now, and that's going to be a free switch, so another free turn. The Infiltrator from the Chandelure will bypass that substitute, but we got our Tail Glow. It's the same thing! Oh my god, that's amazing, because I was looking at the Ninjask, I was like, you know what, this might be the perfect way to play the Ninjask, and it's going to be Flash. You can keep spamming Flash as well, so +1 evasion, -1 accuracy on the Chandelure. Things are about to get pretty fancy. Oh, he's going for the Calm Mind, so letting more setup happen. Alright. Things just got a little interesting. It looks like Chandelure just wants to finish off the Volbeat and then just take it to the bank. But Volbeat going to keep spamming that Flash. I'd be way more worried about the Infiltrator. I would just move on to like the next stage of this plan. Hex though, it will connect, but no Infiltrator. It looks like it is Flash Fire on the Chandelure. I would have been a little too worried right there. But then Volbeat is going to throw down the substitute once again, because that's how it works. And we talked about this with the last time on the Fan Fridays feature, but now that's going to be the Z move. So Z move will bypass all of that accuracy evasion nonsense. However, that's still more opportunity to set up substitute. Pretty much what you do is you just set up substitute until your opponent misses, and then you have a free substitute now, and then you can just keep going for more evasion boosting until you finally decide to peace out with the sub and the opponent just having a very bad time. So there we go, Volbeat sub will fade off of that, but it doesn't really matter because we're just going to go for it again. Volbeat with another substitute, has another one in the bank as well, and that's going to be Chandelure with the Hex. Hex will land. Alright. Not ideal, but even then, +1 evasion, -2 on the accuracy. Something has to miss at some point, and it looks like with one more substitute, we will find that out now. The Ferrothorn did miss, so that's kind of where the odds fall in, and there it is. Volbeat with the Avoid, and another Tail Glow, +6 on the Volbeat. Just like that, and the evasion boosting. I mean, this is when you just go into a stored power Pokemon, and the game ends right there. And that's the Baton Pass from the Volbeat. So giving those stat boosts away, like I said, this is what we saw with the Ninjask. I'm going to wait till like the end of the next battle, because there's two oh, it's in the Gengar as well. That's just filthy. So I'm going to wait till the end of the next battle. Like I said, there was 2 submissions. And then we could go on about how ridiculous this is, and how it is like the perfect play for the Ninjask, as well as just the Volbeat. Any kind of boosting you can get into it, then you just get to win. And it's a Mega Gengar as well. So now it's a trap with a +6 Gengar. That's already outspeeding a lot. It's looking pretty bad for the opponent right now. I mean, Gengar Shadow Ball, it gets to Mega Evolve and do damage. And then just KO the Ferrothorn, just like that. So, bad news for Ferrothorn. And then it's going to be bad news for Chandelure, bad news for everything else. It just outspeed into destruction. We saw the Calm Mind. We know there's no Scarf. Yeah, I guess the opponent just learned a valuable lesson today. Run the Infiltrator. Because, like, Flash Fire is cool and all, and it might be... I guess the Flash Fire with the Ferrothorn could have made a lot of sense to just kind of anticipate that. But, yeah, that's what happens. The one time you don't bring it is when you face the counter. So that's going to be Hydreigon, and you can just kind of use anything from the Gengar to finish off Hydreigon. Why not the ×4 +6 Dazzling Gleam destruction right there? And that's it. Alright, let's get into the next battle and watch it play out once again. Well, I'm completely heartbroken right now because the second battle code could not be found. We'll just have to wait and see what Slothy comes up with in the future. Ultra Sun and Moon could lead to some more shenanigans. Maybe we'll get like just a feature of 5 Volbeat and Ninjask battles in the future or something like that. But yeah, I like double, triple checked it. However, we can still salvage this one, guys, because we have Volbeat Ninjask, and we can talk about these Pokemon. Like, this is just how to use Volbeat Ninjask as well as the just Evasion Z moves and stuff like that. Kind of talked about this already with the Ninjask battle, but there's so much potential here, and I love it because we just have both sides of the coin. We have Volbeat on the special setup, we have Ninjask on the physical setup. Also, Ninjask does give that speed, so you don't even need like the Swords Dance. You can do other things with the Ninjask potentially, and then still go into some speed boosting for a Pokemon that needs it, while also carrying Evasion, free sub, and fun stuff like that. So it just adds a little more to some crazy Baton Pass strategies. So let's go and break down like the Volbeat and what it does. It gets the Prankster hidden ability. So because of that, we already outspeed everything, therefore we don't need Ninjask's insane speed. Now, I don't really know how much of the tankiness matters when it comes down to these Pokemon, because as long as you have an uneven amount of hit points and you just use 4 substitutes, that's kind of all that it takes, and then you just wait for the misses, because as we talked about, you know, Flash, it's going to lower your opponent's evasion, but going Z-Flash or Z-Zand attack also boosts your evasion. So now we're at a +1, -1 situation, and because of the diminishing returns of stat boosting, we're actually getting more out of that than if we were +2 or if they were -2. It's kind of one of the coolest ideas ever, because you go Z-Flash, and then you set up substitute until your opponent misses, then you go for like Tail Glow, Swords Dance, or get whatever stats you can, keep setting up sub until your opponent keeps missing, and then you can eventually Baton Pass a substitute plus stats, plus an evasion boost, and depending on the opponent still on the field, you can also have their evasion reduced as well, thus giving you opportunity for more setup, or just like the freest KO ever. And the thing about Flash is you can keep using it on the opponent as well. That if you're in a really safe situation, like we just saw with the Volbeat, that Volbeat just kept using Flash on the Chandelure because it could, and that's just going to increase the chance that you're going to have sub up, and then they're going to miss a move. So even with all the switches, all the Flash resets, all the, you know, modifiers getting thrown around, Volbeat was still able to go +6 on the Tail Glow, and then Baton Pass it into any Pokemon. Then, like, that's the other feature of this one, is the Baton Pass. Because, okay, now we have Prankster Baton Pass on top of all the other Prankster stuff, and it's not even Baton Passing the speed boost at this point. You're really just giving a special attacking stat boost to whatever Pokemon needs it. And in this situation, I believe you do need a faster Pokemon that can get that really high amount of coverage going for it. Because with the speed boost on Ninjask, okay, any Pokemon is going to hit like +3, +4, or even more on the speed, and then become insanely fast, and then be able to just run out the gate with that. But with this Pokemon, yeah, I think Gengar is one of the best options, because you trap them. So if they don't switch for that Mega Evolution turn, that could be free. And even if they do switch, then that's free damage on a +6. So that's going to kill them anyways. And yeah, there's really no winning when you bring the Gengar out. Also, as we saw, the coverage on the Gengar could be pretty strong. We have Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, Dazzling Gleam, Thunderbolt, maybe a Hidden Power or something. But yeah, like overall, you can get everything that you need, especially at +3 or +6, with an overwhelmingly powerful like Pokemon like the Gengar. Maybe the Mega Alakazam, just any special attacker that outspeeds a lot of Pokemon will do great in that situation. Then like we saw with the Ninjask, I mean, Medicham is one of my favorite Pokemon to use in battle, and like I kept saying about the Medicham is that if you give it any speed, if it gets like +1 on the speed, that's really all that it needs. A sticky web on the opposing side of the field, any kind of speed boost Baton Pass, and that's also another thing. Anyone can just run a Baton Pass strat and try to find some success with it. But this seems like one of the most optimal ways of running the Baton Pass for any Pokemon that has like access to this, like the Volbeat Ninjask. I think this might be the best way of running these Pokemon, just because it's an easier setup that could tilt your opponent harder and then give you higher potential to snowball while being even more unstoppable. With normal Baton Pass, you can just keep beating down the opponent and then something might come of it. But with this, it's on a whole nother level. That's what I love about it, just the extra innovation on top of it, and then throwing it into a Pokemon that, hey, if it works, you just win. And that's kind of it. So I'm really sad we didn't get to see that other battle, but I'm pretty sure we could have understood what happened. Pretty much the same thing from the first battle, maybe a bit more flashy. Maybe the opponent has just a crazier team or something. But overall, it's great. I'm actually a little stunned that I was not trying to figure this one out myself, because I'm the evasion freak. I love the evasion strategies and the evasion setup. But even when I looked at Flash and Sand Attack, I was like, this is garbage, because they're just going to switch out on you. But if you can use that for setup and then just carry that evasion into another Pokemon, you're not getting moveset syndrome, because that could be another issue. It's like, okay, that means every time my opponent brings in a new Pokemon, I have to use Flash or Sand Attack 4 more times before they start missing me again. Even if I already have like the +1 on the evasion, they only get 3 moves. If I have like sustain, setup, damage option, yeah, you're kind of limited. But this, it takes the limit, puts it on the other Pokemon, and then just gives the receiving Pokemon all the benefits and then free reign for whatever destruction it wants. I'd also love to see this into an evasion Pokemon itself. Throw this into a Chansey, and then just go for more Minimize, or even the Chandelure. I think Chandelure could work out pretty well. Just Minimize extra times, don't even need Calm Mind at that point. Just kind of like bring in the Chandelure with a little bit extra setup, and then keep sweeping from there. So, pretty fun strat. I enjoy it, and I love the innovation that we keep seeing in Pokemon. So, if you guys enjoyed the battles, and I'll see you guys in the next Fan Fridays.